How fast do you edit your videos? Let me share with you 5 tips that I guarantee will help you edit your videos faster in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now the last thing I want to do is waste your time, so let's just jump into it. The first tip I want to talk about today has to do with keyboard shortcuts. We all know keyboard shortcuts make you edit faster, but specifically I want to talk about ripple trim. Let's look at the timeline here. So here you have a short video of me unpacking my washing machine, and this short activity is actually a bit too long for my liking, for the way I would like to present it. So what I would like to do is basically cut at every single sound wave here, basically where every single cut happens, so that I can present this activity faster. What most beginners would do is go to the razor tool here or press C on your keyboard and basically do the cut whenever you want it to happen, just as so, and then delete the parts that you don't need, and then obviously move all these clips back together. So that's how a beginner would do it, and if you do this on a 5 to 10 minute video or even longer, it's gonna take forever to edit. So let's look how to do this faster. So now I would like to use a combination of the razor tool and the ripple trim. So again, by pressing C on your keyboard, you just make your first cut. After that, we obviously move forward to when we want the next cut to happen. And instead of doing what we did before, cutting, deleting, and moving, we're only gonna press Q on the keyboard. Look what happens. Bang. The same goes for the rest. I press C on my keyboard, cut here, go here, press Q. Cut here, go here, press Q. Look at that. That's definitely a time saver. So as you can see, pressing Q on the keyboard deletes everything before your current selection of the clip. However, pressing W deletes everything after the selection you currently have on your clip. Check this out. So for the sake of this example, let me just make this a little bit bigger and tell you that I would like to end the video here. So I just press W and that's it. This next one, I gotta admit, it's something I started doing recently, and they call it the pancake editing. Basically what that means is creating 2 sequences for the same project and stacking them on top of each other. Let's just create another sequence. I'm gonna select one of these videos, go up to File, New, Sequence from Clip. Click that and all of a sudden you have 2 sequences. What you want to do is literally drag this one on top or on the bottom of your main one. Usually I put it on the bottom because this is what I keep my B-roll, my detailed shots. And on top is my main timeline, right? My A-roll. So now what you would do is drag all your B-roll shots into the bottom timeline. And whenever you think you need them in your main projects, you literally just drag them up there. This is very useful, for example, if you do product review. You have a lot of B-roll of the product itself, but you have this kind of interaction where you need to talk about the product. So you're gonna have the A-roll on your top timeline and all the B-roll, all the cinematic shots of the product into the timeline at the bottom. But yeah, there's not much more to it. Working with 2 sequences can speed up your process. Okay, this next one is a game changer when you're working with different kind of channels. So you make a video for YouTube, but you want all of it or parts of it published on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. So what you're gonna do, you gotta resize everything, and that takes a lot of time. So Premiere Pro uses AI so that you can do all of that just with a couple of clicks. And this tool is called Auto Reframe Sequence. And the way you go about it is like this. You go to your project here where you have all your files. Let me just change the view to a list so we can find the project item faster. See, the one with the icon like this, all the rest are actual videos. So what you do is right click on your project and go to Auto Reframe Sequence. After you click on that, then you have to choose what kind of sequence you want out of the original one. So in this case, I'll just like to create a vertical one. I'll select vertical 9:16. The motion tracking I'll leave to default. You can play around in case you do sport videos or slow motion. The best results for now I found to be with the default option, and since I don't want any of my motion adjustment replaced, I'm just gonna go with the first option over here. Click create, and then you get a new sequence with the vertical ratio. Now there's a catch, because it does use AI to reframe your sequence, but since it uses AI, this tool is actually trying to find out what's the subject, what's the most important thing in every single video, and then it sometimes ends up moving left and right in places you may not want it to. For example, when I'm talking in this portion, you can see the camera is moving left and right, trying to pretty much keep my face in the center. So I don't use it all the time, but when I do, it saves so much time. Sometimes I just want a portion from the middle of the video, so I post a TikTok or an Instagram reel, and then I select my in and out points, and then I resize the sequence. Awesome, we have 2 more on the list. This next one, it's so easy, it's stupid. This area right here is editable. So if you click on the plus sign, you open the button editor. So I'm gonna let you see what all these do. You can drag and drop them and have them over here. If you just hover over one of them, it tells you, the label tells you what they are. However, my favorite one is the export frame with one click. So you just drag and drop this camera icon over here, click OK, and now let's say I want to make this my thumbnail of the video, which I don't think I would, but let's just click on the camera over here, give it a name, select when you want it to be saved, and click OK, and that's it. Now this last one is pretty important. Sometimes as a video editor, there's only so much you can do to speed up the process. Maybe you have a slow computer and it just takes a lot of time to go through it, to go through the edits and render. So what do? You work with proxies or proxy files. So what you're doing is you're basically telling Premiere Pro to duplicate all these high quality files you have, make a lower version of them, and then use those to edit your video. Once you're done and you want to export, obviously Premiere Pro is going to use the original files to make your final video. That speeds up the process of editing by a lot. So let me show you how it's done. All you have to do is select all the videos you would like to make proxies of, and then just right click and go to Proxy, Create Proxies. I usually don't even touch anything right here because this is pretty much what I work with, and I would like the files to be next to my original media. So once I click OK, what that will do is open Adobe Media Encoder, which will make the proxy files for you. Once it's done creating the proxies, all you have to do is go back where I showed you in the previous step on the button editor, and then add this icon, the toggle proxies. Drag and drop it over here, click OK, and once you have it selected and it's blue, that's when Premiere Pro is showing you the proxy files. If you look here in the blacks on my laptop, if I click and unclick it, you will see the difference of the quality of the video. You can also see the difference here in my Lumetri scopes. On, off, on, off. So what you'll end up doing is click on the toggle proxies button, make sure it's blue, do your edit, and then export. Premiere Pro will run a lot faster with proxy files. But these were my 5 tips for today to help you edit faster in Premiere Pro. So if you got any value out of this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week. Ciao!